Welcome back to Grammar Grade 10. This is Unit 4, Lesson 28, and today we meet the adverb clause. Last time we had a clause that described a noun. Today we get a clause that does an adverb's job instead. It tells us when something happened, where, why, to what extent, or under what condition. And it comes with one punctuation rule that will clean up your writing immediately. Let's dig in. Let's start with what this thing actually is. An adverb clause is a subordinate clause, a group of words carrying its own subject and its own verb, and yet it can't stand alone as a sentence. It leans on a main clause, the way a branch leans on a trunk. Now here's the part that gives it its name. An adverb clause modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, exactly the way a single adverb would. Think of the word quickly. It modifies a verb. Well, so does the group of words before the sun came up. One is a single word, the other is a whole clause, but they are doing the very same job. That's the whole idea. It is a clause doing an adverb's work. Every adverb clause opens with a signal word, and you have already met them. These are the subordinating conjunctions from Lesson 11. Listen to the list. After, although, as, because, before, if, since, so that, than, though, unless, until, when, whenever, where, wherever, while. Say that list out loud a few times, because each one of those words is a flag going up. The moment one of them starts a group of words that has its own subject and its own verb, you are almost certainly looking at an adverb clause. Spot the opener, and you've spotted the clause. So what does an adverb clause actually tell us? The same things a plain adverb tells us. It answers a question about the verb. When? Before the sun rose. Where? Wherever the trail forked. Why? Because the bridge was out. To what extent? Then her brother did. And under what condition? Unless the ice melts. 5 questions in all. When, where, why, to what extent, and under what condition. If a clause answers one of those, it is pulling adverb duty, and you can name it with confidence. Now here's the rule that will show up in your own writing tonight, the comma rule. Listen to sentence 1. Because the bridge was out, we took the long way. The adverb clause comes first. It leads the sentence. And when an adverb clause leads, you follow it with a comma. That little mark tells your reader the main clause is arriving now. Now let's flip it around. We took the long way because the bridge was out. Same 2 ideas, same clause, same conjunction. But this time the clause trails at the end, and in that position you normally use no comma at all. So keep it as simple as it sounds. Leads, comma, trails, none. Last lesson, we worked with the adjective clause, and these two are easy to confuse. So let's separate them with a single question. What does the clause modify? Look at this one. The runner who trains daily wins. The clause who trains daily is telling you which runner we mean. It hangs on the noun runner, so it is an adjective clause. Now look at this one. The runner wins because she trains daily. The clause because she trains daily doesn't describe the runner at all. It tells you why she wins. It hangs on the verb wins, so it is an adverb clause. So always ask what the clause is attached to. If it hangs on a noun, adjective clause. If it hangs on a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, adverb clause. One last wrinkle, and it's a friendly one. Sometimes an adverb clause looks like it is missing words. Ravi is taller than I. Where is the verb inside that clause? There isn't one on the page, and yet your ear supplies it instantly. Then I am tall. When words are so clearly understood that we simply leave them out, we call the result an elliptical adverb clause. Here's another. You know the route better than I do. Nothing is truly missing in meaning. The understood words are quietly doing their work anyway. So here's a quick trick. Mentally finish the clause. If the sentence still makes perfect sense, you have found an elliptical adverb clause. Let's turn all of that into a 3-step check you can run on any sentence. Step 1. Does the clause open with a subordinating conjunction? A word like because, although, until, or unless. Step 2. Does it modify a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, telling you when, where, why, to what extent, or under what condition? If the answer is yes to both, you have an adverb clause. Step 3. Look at where it sits in the sentence. Is it out in front or tucked at the back? Front means you need a comma. Back usually means you don't. Let's put that to work. In this first set, every sentence already contains an adverb clause. Your job is the punctuation. Look at where the clause is sitting, leading the sentence or trailing at the end, and decide whether a comma belongs. Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. Until the storm passed, we stayed in the cabin. Where is the clause sitting? Until the storm passed comes first. It leads the whole sentence. And a leading adverb clause is always followed by a comma. So we need a comma after passed. We stayed in the cabin until the storm passed. Same two ideas as before, but now the clause has moved to the back of the sentence. A trailing adverb clause normally takes no comma at all, so the answer here is no comma needed. If the ferry is late, we will miss the concert. The clause "if the ferry is late" opens the sentence, and it tells us under what condition. Because it leads, it takes a comma, so we need a comma after late. Now for the trickier call. Each of these sentences carries a subordinate clause. Decide what that clause modifies. If it hangs on a noun, it is an adjective clause. If it modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, it is an adverb clause. Pause and choose before I answer. The violin that Nina restored sounds bright. Ask what the clause is attached to. That Nina restored tells you which violin we mean, so it hangs on the noun violin. That makes it an adjective clause. Nina practiced until her fingers ached. The clause opens with until, and it describes no noun at all. It tells you how long Nina practiced. It modifies the verb practiced. That makes it an adverb clause. The bakery where we studied closed last spring. Careful here. Where is on our subordinating conjunction list, but look at the job it is actually doing. Where we studied tells you which bakery, not why or when anything happened. It hangs on the noun bakery, so this one is an adjective clause. Let's gather it all up. An adverb clause is a subordinate clause that modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. It opens with a subordinating conjunction. After, although, because, if, since, unless, until, when, while. And it tells you when, where, why, to what extent, or under what condition. Then remember the punctuation, because it's the part you'll use every day. When the clause leads the sentence, follow it with a comma. When it trails at the end, you normally use none. And if a clause seems to be missing words, it is simply elliptical. The understood words are still there, waiting in your ear. In the next lesson, we'll meet the noun clause, the last of the 3 subordinate clauses. I'll see you there.